Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another MAMG Let's Play of Root Double. When we left off, we died in a fire, and now there's a girl standing in the flames, because why wouldn't she be? Any schoolgirl is just absolutely fine standing in fire, right? Right? Okay, let's find out what's going on. A girl standing on the other side of the flames.
Sanomiya-san.
Yeah, what is she doing? Watase recognized that name. Luis Yui Sanomiya. That was the name of Enna's student who possibly been trapped in Labo. If she doesn't move, those flames are gonna eat her alive.
Kimi, 大丈夫か?
I mean, they might eat her alive anyways. But Luis didn't answer his calls. She just gave him a sharp look that almost looked like a glare.
落ち着け。そんなに警戒しなくていい。俺たちは君を助けに来たんだ。
I don't think she's scared. I think she's angry.
それよりここは汚染が激しいんだ。AD を被爆防止剤を打たなければ。
But as he said that, uh-oh, do I need to look at this? Luis. Individualist, huh? We'll go up a little bit, I guess. Oh, that's a weird garf. Why not? But as he said that, the girl turned around and ran off. Huh?
なんで逃げるの?
わからんが、とにかく追うぞ。
了解。私も。椿山さんはダメ。私らだけで行く。
Once Jun said that, she and Watase went dashing off at the same time. Oh, she fast. The girl was nimbly weaving her way through the gaps between the flames as she ran.
イズちゃん、どうして逃げるのさ。私だよ、ジュンだよ。
Okay, so she knows us? Despite Jun's shouts, the girl didn't stop running. Whoa, that's a lot of fire. Okay, the entrance to the inner ring connected passageway came into view. Oh, she knows the passcode. The girl took a card out, then slid it into the slot. She then ran through the now opened gate and disappeared behind it. She has a card? Where'd she ever find one? The gate soon started to close.
待て待て待て!
You know you're probably gonna kill us, right? Maybe she doesn't care. Watase and Jun made a mad dash through the gate. There were no signs of a fire in the connecting passageway. But they couldn't see the girl anymore. She'd probably run off to the inner ring.
おう、火がこっちに回らないうちに。
But just as Jun was saying this, the Prokyon's alarm grew even louder. Uh-oh. We're like in highly radioactive area, aren't we? Jun looked at the Prokyon in surprise. It read,
9307ミリシーベルト?
Dang.
おいおい、勘弁してくれよ。
Yeah, we're screwed. The number was past the second danger standard. Kazami's explanation then suddenly echoed in Watase's head. Our lives are at great risk there, even with AD. And the fact that the alarm had gone off as soon as it'd gone through the connecting passageway meant all the areas in the ring are probably contaminated. Okay, what do I got? Ooh. Okay. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but maybe we'll keep it like this. You know what? I'm gonna make her higher than us. Why not? Let's do it like this. Maybe we'll earn her trust. But he didn't have time to hesitate. The girl was being constantly bathed in high-level radiation while they were standing around.
行こう、隊長。あの子を放っておけない。
She's right. I mean, she spoke in a clear voice as though she were trying to cheer herself up. But Watase, afraid of radiation exposure, hesitated. Uh-oh.
怖いのは私も同じだって。でも行かなきゃ。
しかし。
隊長のヘタレ。分かったよ。私一人でも行く。
That's not what I meant to do. Those words finally snapped Watase out of it.
いや、俺も行く。
Maybe it's because I did like a mid-range. He's not like super hesitant. Watase broke off into a run, doing his best to catch up to Jun. They exited the connecting passageway and entered the inner ring.
隊長はそっちよ。
Jun then proceeded to run off towards the right.
おう
Watase took off in the other direction, looking for the girl. The alarm was getting louder and louder. Watase suddenly felt a headache from the repeated echo of that sound. No, it's not because of the alarm. Are these the effects of the radiation? It didn't stop with this headache. He also felt like his skin was going numb. Despite all that, Watase continued to run around in search of the girl. Just then, there she is! He saw the girl approaching the Area 5 connecting passageway. If she went through that gate, he wouldn't be able to keep chasing her.
待て頼む待ってくれ
Yeah, she's a real good listener, isn't she? Watase desperately called out to her, but the girl just kept on running. However, there was something off about the way she did so. Watase looked closer and noticed that there was a bandage wrapped around her upper arm. She got hurt? Then that only proved that he had to bring her under his protection as soon as possible. Watase ignored his headache and tried to chase after her when...
よせその子を追うな
Okay. Feel like I should save. Alright. A voice echoed in his head.
止まれ彼女を追うんじゃない
It was the same voice he'd heard when he tried to save Yuri. But now it was trying to stop him from rescuing that girl.
うるせえ黙れ
No? Watase shook off that voice and chased after the girl. But a second later, the pain in his head suddenly magnified. Watase instinctively leaned against the wall. What's happening? Yeah, what is happening actually? I feel like he's being controlled, right? I've kind of mentioned this before, but like, I feel like there's somebody else in Watase's body right now because it's so impersonal the way it's being described. A light shone in front of his eyes at the same time his vision was rapidly devoured into darkness. And with that, his consciousness fell. Okay. Cool. His consciousness was in eternal darkness. Without the ability to rely on his five senses, he had no clue where he was. His hazy mind just barely managed to construct that thought. He then made out the sound of someone breathing nearby. Well, so he chased after us.
重いわね、隊長さんってば。
When he opened his eyes, he saw half of someone's face. It seemed someone was walking while carrying him on their shoulder. Captain Kasasagi? Who's that? No sooner had he thought this than did everything come back to him. That's right, I fell unconscious. Also, I have amnesia. I remember! I have amnesia! Watase's five senses swiftly recovered with that thought.
Sensei.
Yeah, I was like, that's not our
気
comrade.
がついたのね。大丈夫。隊長さん。
Why is she being so nice all of a sudden?
ここはなんで先生が
The last thing Watase remembered was chasing that girl. Yeah, we'll stay in good relationship with her. She saved us. He tried to recall what happened after that, but all he found was a total blank.
来週島で倒れていたあなたを森部さんが非常階段のところまで運んできたの。
Okay.
今森部さんは立花さんと一緒に地下2階の火災を消火してるわ。私はあなたを制御室まで連れて行くよう頼まれたのよ。
そうだったのか
Yeah, that's right. Be nice to her. Be nice. She can be a butt sometimes, but she can also be nice.
そうよ。重いあなたを抱えて階段登るの大変だったんだから。
You know, you shouldn't skip leg day, right? Watase gave Enna a wry smile, then suddenly remembered something.
ところであの子
三宮さんは森部さんの話だと逃げられてしまったらしいわね。内州島の汚染区域のどこにも 三宮さんの姿はなかったとのことよ。
他のエリアに逃げたのか。
Watase had no clue where she disappeared to. He felt like he'd seen her running off somewhere just before he collapsed. But he'd been hit with a particularly painful headache right after that, causing his memories around that point to be extremely vague at best. So it's almost like somebody is like messing with him so he can't remember which way she went, right? Right? But he knew for a fact that she'd run away.
どうして彼女は逃げたんだろう。
わからないわね。
何？
But thinking back on it, Yuri clearly had been scared back when he'd first met her. Perhaps Watase's face looked especially frightening to them in an environment like this. I was gonna say, you don't have much luck with the ladies, do you? Yeah, we'll stay in a good relationship with her. No, or maybe the girl had also found those bodies. Anyone would be shaken after seeing something like that. In the end, Watase was no closer to figuring out the truth. Watase sighed and looked to Ena.
先生。ごめんな。
Oh,
あんたの生徒。
that's so
でき
nice.
なかったよ。
Ena gasped, then smiled.
いいのよ。身を挺してここまでやってくれたんだし。それに三宮さんが地下にいるって確証が取れただけでも一歩前進よ。
しかし、彼女は汚染区域に逃げ込んだ。被爆している可能性がある。
待って。それについても希望があるかもしれないわ。
All right, we need some hope in this despair-riddled facility, right? Ena said that and took something out. It was an empty AD ampule.
それは？
階段のあたりに落ちてたの。これを使ったのが三宮さんだとしたら、彼女の安全はある程度保証されている。
Yeah, but that's a lot of radiation.
汚染区域に居続けなければ大丈夫か。
But he couldn't be optimistic. It was very unlikely that she had a prokium. Ena continued talking.
大丈夫よ隊長さん。実はあの子はね、あらゆることに秀でた天才児なの。
Okay, she's smart. Got it.
そうよ。彼女ならきっと生き残る手段を自ら模索できるはずだわ。
But there were two other students.
そうか。それは確かに希望だな。
Even if it was only a faint hope, Watase felt he should believe in it. He then continued speaking in order to assuage Ena's concerns even further.
それにしても先生、あんたは立派な人だな。
Aww.
どうしたの急に。おだてたって何も出ないわよ。
It's fine. Let him compliment you.
いや、本心さ。さっき下の階であの生徒を見たとき、私も行くわって言ってただろ。あんな炎の中に生徒のために飛び込もうとする教師、立派じゃないか。
That's true. That's like a make or break point for a lot of teachers. And, you know, the fact that she was willing to risk her life to get to her students, it speaks volumes of her character.
あんなの三宮さんの顔を見た瞬間、とっさに助けなきゃって思っただけよ。実際助けに行っていたら私も倒れてたかもしれないし。立派なんてことないわ。後先考えていないだけ。
そうか。でもその点は俺と同じだね。
Yeah, we're not very good at the whole logic thing right now. Ena stared at Watase with an inquisitive glance. He responded by talking about his own
ユーリ
experience.
に初めて会った時、彼女は火に巻かれかけていたんだ。それを見た時、俺もとっさに助けなきゃって思って火の中に。
飛び込んだの？
Totally.
いや、直前で森
No,
に飛び
that's right. We did jump into a fire before and died, but that wasn't to save Yuri.
閉まらないわね。
そうだな。ちょっと間抜けだった。もしかするとユーリはあの時の俺の姿を見て頼りないと思ってるのかもな。嫌われているというより信頼されてないというか、おまけに記憶喪失だ。
I don't know if it's lack of faith. I feel like she's scared of you. Ena gave Watase a wry smile.
あんまり 気にしすぎない方がいいわよ。あの年頃の女の子は大人の男性ってだけで怖がる子もいるんだから。
ならいいんだが、いや、よくはないか。
ま、シャキッとしてなさいよ。
I can't. I'm surrounded by fire
あ
and
なたは
death.
記憶なくすは倒れるわ。確かにちょっと頼りないけど、一生懸命なのは認めるから。
Aw, thank you. I am trying my best. I might be dumb, but I have a good heart.
そうだな。ぐじぐじ言ってちゃそれこそ情けないよな。
Watase felt himself getting all pumped up again from Enna's stern encouragement. An intrepid smile then appeared on Enna's face.
そう、その息よ。というところで隊長さん。
She's gonna ask if we can walk on our own. I guarantee you that's what she's gonna do.
私、いつまでこうしていればいいのか
I
しら。
knew it! Be like, okay, but like seriously, get off?
あ、すまん。
Watase quickly moved away from Enna as soon as he realized she was carrying him on her shoulder.
まあでも、いろいろありがとう先生。元気が出たよ。
あの程度ならいつでもどうぞ。それじゃ制御室に急ぎましょうか。
あ。
Watase and Enna nodded at each other and broke off into a run. That was such a sweet little moment. Hopefully they don't turn on each other. By the time they had made it to the door to the control room, Yuri was already there waiting for them.
何かあったんですか？隊長さんが汚染区域に入った直後倒れてしまったらしいの。汚染区域に。
Yuri walked over to Watase with a look of shock adorning her face.
倒れたってどうして？
What?
いや、急に頭痛がして俺もよく覚えてないんだが、放射線障害の一種かもしれん。立花が言うには放射線は脳細胞を損傷させるらしいから。
そんな。
Yuri stared hard at Watase.
心配してくれてるのか？そうか。
Wait. Hang on. I need to...
心配してくれてるのか？
That's what I thought. In the Japanese, she says yes. He's like, are you worried about me? And she says yes, not no. Weird localization choice, but okay. Yuri's response was surprising, but also heartwarming. She'd been acting like she doesn't want to go near Watase the whole time she'd been with him. He didn't know why that was, but the concern she'd shown him just now seemed to be proof that she was becoming a bit more comfortable around him. Is it because of all the times I've risked my life? Stupidly? Watase then gave Yuri a smile.
大丈夫だよ、ユリ。俺たちはこれが商売なんだから。民間人のそれも女の子に心配されてちゃ
Stop trying to act
商
tough.
売上がってる。
Stop trying to act tough.
あら、一発の口を聞くようになってきたじゃない。記憶喪失の隊長さん。
I told you to not try to act tough.
まあ記憶はどうあれ、俺はレスキュー隊員らしいからな。それなりの格好はつけるさ。
Just as he said that, it suddenly hit Watase. His subordinates were currently fighting the fires down on floor
い
B2.
かん。俺ちょっと立花たちを手伝ってくるよ。二人は制御室で待っててくれ。
大丈夫なの？さっき倒れたばかりなのに。
It's fine, I faint all the time.
もう復活したよ。湿地を挽回しなきゃな。
タフな人ね。
Watase started running off towards the emergency staircase as he heard Enna say that. When Watase ran down the emergency staircase, he found the sea of flames still there. He could see Kazami and Jun holding two hoses as they desperately suppressed the fire, the sound of the Prokyon's alarm beeping in the background.
あ、戻ってきた。隊長、もう大丈夫なのですか？
Probably?
気遣い無用だ。それより俺に手伝えることはあ
Watch
る
him like immediately faint.
放水手伝ってもらいたいけど。
Okay, I'm gonna save. And let's see what they want us to do. Watase checked the area around him as he listened to Jun. Everywhere except for where Kazumi and Jin were standing was engulfed in flames, okay? Yeah, that's probably the best. I probably don't want him to be super contradictory to Moribe and Tachibana because they know what they're doing and I don't. I just hope he doesn't push back against their orders by doing this. It's either too proud or defiant, and it's hard to find that line, right? I'll just back off for now. Yeah. With the air full of heat waves and steam, every breath he took felt like it was setting his lungs on fire. No, firefighting's about teamwork. There must be something that I can do too. Watase stood frozen in place. There's something I can do. Okay, last time with the backdraft, it didn't work out too good, so maybe actually pay attention this time, Watase. Okay, good. The two of them shouted that and continued hosing down the fire. But the fire looks far beyond the control of human hands at this point. Just as Watase thought that, some of the nearby flames surged upward fiercely. A tongue of flame, which had been licking at the ceiling nimbly, waved towards the door. It was almost like the writhing of a giant snake. This is so cool how much, like, fire... What is it? Not lore, but, like... I don't know what to call it. Like, technical terms for all the different things fire can do. I had no idea it could do this much stuff. Like, so much respect for emergency workers. Even Watase could tell that whatever was happening was no laughing matter. Watase opened the emergency staircase door. Kazumi and Jun threw aside their hoses at the same time and ran for the stairs. Watase followed them on nigh instinct. The whole group crowded their way up the stairs as fast as they could. Watase closed the fireproof door to the stairwell as soon as they made it back to B1. And not even a second later, the door shook with a roar. We did a good thing! Watase was knocked down by the shockwave occurring on the other side. He landed on his side and felt a keen pain run through his area around his ribs. He quickly shut the door again as he groaned. It looked like an explosion had happened downstairs, and the blast had made it all the way up the stairs. If we'd been even a second slower, the thought sent shivers down Watase's spine. Flashover? That's insane! Uh-huh. If they'd stayed there, they would all be burning to death right about now. Watase gulped as it fully hit him just how ferocious that fire had been. His ribs still ached from when he'd been knocked to the floor. Uh-oh. Kazami, are you okay? He looked at Kazami as he said that, only to find her leaning against the wall, her hand gripping her head. Uh-oh. Yeah, I was gonna say, she's the one who took the broken AD capsule, or whatever you want to call it, ampule. The fiery hallway they just escaped from had a reading of about 4,300 microsieverts, I think is how you said it, according to the Procyon. That was over the first danger standard, an extremely dangerous zone to those without any AD. No, I'm gonna bring her down just a little bit. Actually, I'll save. Yeah, let me save. I know I'm being paranoid, but like I definitely don't want her to die, but I also don't want them to bicker. So I'm gonna go like this. Yeah. Let's try this.
さか放射線で。
放射線障害がこんなに早く自覚症状として現れることはないはずです。
Shouldn't be, but they might.
おそらく一酸化炭素の吸いすぎでしょう。
Her face was still a bit pale.
一酸化炭素の吸いすぎって、それは少し楽観的すぎるんじゃないのか。俺だって汚染区域に入った直後ぶっ倒れたんだぞ。
Yeah.
まともに AD を投与してないお前にとっては余計に危ない。
おっしゃらずとも分かっています。
Oh god, okay, don't get mad though. Watase instinctively shut up at Kazami's sharp voice. All I did was drive her into a corner. As Watase stood there, regretting his words, Kazami's face softened in realization.
すみません、取り乱してしまいました。それより二人とも一度制御室に戻りましょう。下の階はもう通行不能ですので。
She's so proud. It's so hard to gauge how to do it because, like, I want to take care of her, right? But, like, she doesn't want to be taken care of. I'm getting that. I'm getting those vibes. Definitely. I just wish we could help her. Kazami then started walking on ahead, followed shortly afterwards by Watase and Jun. So that dosage of AD really hadn't been enough for her. Though injecting oneself with a drug stored in a damaged container was already in and of itself extremely dangerous. We need to find some AD and on the double. Watase then whispered into Jun's ear. Yeah, we definitely have to.
分かってるよ隊長、分かってる。
Watase and Jun nodded at each other quickly and quickly marched towards the control room. When they got to the control room, Ena, Yuri, and Ukita were already there. No sooner had they passed through the doorway than did a bitter shout echo through the room.
くそ、権限が奪えない。どうしたんだ、浮田さん。
Ukita and the others turned around in surprise.
お帰りなさい3人とも。
Thanks.
君たちか。椿山さんから話は聞いたよ。大変だったみたいだね。ああ、だがもう大丈夫だ。
None of Watase's group said anything about Kazami's deteriorating condition.
それより何かあったのですか？権限が奪えないとは？
核兵器の開閉操作について僕も力を尽くしてはみたのだが、まずプロテクトが厳重でとても手がつけられん。さらに3つの制御用コンピューターが相互にシステムを監視している。無理に権限を奪っても即座に奪い返される仕様になっているようだ。僕の技術では正直どうにもなりそうにない。そうか。
Everyone's faces fell at Ukita's explanation. Though it had only been half-hearted hope, it still came off as a big disappointment.
だが代わりと言ってはなんだが、いくつか分かったことがある。みんなモニターを見てくれ。
Ukita then operated the control panel, bringing up what appeared to be a map on screen.
これはこのラボの詳細なマップさ。これが今いる地下1階で、こっちが地下2階だ。
Okay.
こりゃ助かる。今まで施設の構造が分かりにくかったからな。構造だけじゃなく元凶もある程度ここから確認できるようだ。それで分かったんだが、まずやはり地上に続く全ての隔壁は閉まっているようだ。他に出入り口もない。ついでに地上の隔壁の前まで通じている非常階段も第2エリア内周塔以外のものは全て壊れているようだ。そうか。
It was more or less what they'd expected, but it was still disappointing to hear. Kazami pointed to the lower half of the map.
この赤く塗りつぶされている箇所は？
ああ、そこは火災が起きているエリアらしい。
Okay. Just like Kazami had said, the whole area was dyed red. And the letters next to it read Area 4, B2. It was the fire that Watase, Kazami, and Jun had narrowly escaped from.
じゃあこの赤いところって全部。
B2 of Area 4 wasn't the only area that was red. Area 5 was full of red dots, while almost all of Area 6's outer ring was filled with red.
これらの火災によって核壁などが破損し、放射能漏れが起きているのかもしれないな。
プロキオンの数値が上昇しているのはそのせいか。
破損した核壁を塞げば数値の上昇は止められるかな。
難しいだろう。破損部がどこにあるかわからないし、多数ある可能性が高い。そもそもキューバしのぎの補修などで放射線を抑えられるわけも。
true.
しかし参ったな。これじゃ捜索もままならないぞ。
The lower floor was now completely off limits to them, and they still needed to find Kazami some AD quickly. And with all the areas ahead of them on fire, there was also the survivor's safety to worry about.
では
Sometimes my brain just doesn't do
この
reading.
情報を踏まえた上でこれからどうすべきか。
The group meekly nodded.
まず早急に必要なのは AD だな。立花をいつまでも今の状態のままにしておくわけにはいかないし。
確かに。でもどこを探せばいいのかしら。
捜索を予定していた下の階は炎上中だしね。
Suddenly, Yuri, who hadn't said a word so far, finally broke her silence.
待ってる間にこんなの見つけたんですけど。
He looked at Yuri to find she was holding what looked like a small notebook.
これは何？ゆうりちゃん。この施設の防災マニュアルみたいです。ここにこんな項目が。
Okay. Yuri opened to a certain page and showed it to everyone. The group walked over to her and took a look at it. Disaster Prevention Manual 2030 Edition. Before Case N. In the event of an emergency, in the facility, such as fire or accident, please also be wary of a Case N. Do as this manual says and first secure some AD. And, in the chance that a Case N does indeed occur, please take the following countermeasures. Case N countermeasures. First thing you should do in the event of a Case N is administer yourself with AD. Though the passages leading to the surface will be sealed off with bulkheads, this is no cause for panic. Please remain calm, go to the nearest room you could find, and wait for help to arrive. Alright, so far, pretty standard.
9時間も待てなんて無茶言うわね。
いや、それはシステムエラーのせいだ。本来はもっと早く核壁が開くはずなんだ。
待て、続きがある。
About AD. There's AD on reserve in every area. We recommend that all personnel look into and confirm where the AD in their own area is being kept. In the emergency that the AD has been damaged and you do not have enough, there should be plenty of spare AD in areas 1, 3, and 5. Please obtain some quickly as you can and administer it. There were a few more entries after that, but they all appeared to be the only information that pertained to the current situation. Watase broke out into a smile at this new knowledge.
予備の AD を多数配備か。いい情報を見つけてくれたな。ありがとう、ユーリ。
Oh, good, good. I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do yet, but yay! I do want to compliment Yuri, definitely. Yuri gave a smile tinged with the faint hint of joy.
それにしても第1、第3、第5エリアに AD があるって書いてあるけど。
So I'm guessing if you were too negative, you would just yell at her for hiding that? That'd be mean.
そういえば第一エリアで AD が5本入ったメディカルボックスを拾ったよ。それのことかな。
思ったより少ないな。まあ本来はそれでも十分なんだろうが。
第一エリアも当初は火災が激しかったです。それで大半は燃えてしまったのでしょう。
では第3エリアには？
メディカルボックスはあったが空だった。すでに誰かに持ち去られたんだ。
One more area we can check.
残念ね。じゃあまだ捜索していない場所はないの？
あることはあるのですが。
Kazami looked at the monitor.
地下1階第3エリアの外周とここはカードスロットが壊れてて入れませんでした。
そういえばそうだったな。
The map showed one of the 3 routes to that place was blocked off by fire. And according to Kazami, one of the others had a security slot that had been incinerated. And the final route, the only one Watase had personally been through, had a broken card slot.
通路を塞いでいる火を消せれば入れるんだろうけど、あれはもう人力での消火は難しいだろうし。
Ukita suddenly spoke up when he heard Jun's comment.
待てよ。人力では無理と言うならば。
We're gonna get a firefighting robot?
よし。うまくすれば AD の問題も火災も一度に解決するかもしれんぞ。
What are you trying to do?
何？浮田さん、何か思いついたのか？
ああ、こっちのマップを見てくれ。
Ukita proceeded to operate the control panel again. Give me a Metal Gear. I want a Metal Gear. A strange map then popped up, one that did not appear to be of B1 or B2. In the first place, it didn't have any detailed descriptions of anything apart from Area 3.
これはどこの地図だ？
これは1階と地下1階の間にある設備関係が収められた区画だ。
Okay.
屋根裏部屋のようなところだと思ってくれたまえ。で、見てほしいのはここ。エンジンルームさ。
Those words caused Watase to remember the note he'd found earlier on.
エンジンルームってまさか
消火システムがある場所ですね。
ああ、現在スプリンクラーも何もかも停止しているだろう。消火システム自体が何らかの理由で停止させられているようだが、そこに行けばシステムを復旧させられそうだ。火災に対してかなり有効だ。
I mean, that would be awesome. Not gonna lie.
本当か。そのエンジンルームにはどうやって行くんだ？
それなんだよ。この地図によればここだ。先ほど話に出ていた入れない塔、つまり地下1階の第3エリア外周塔のこの部屋にエンジンルームに続くはしごがある。だからなんとかこの塔に入ることさえできれば
火災も鎮火し AD も入手できるってわけか。
It's worth a shot. Those words brought the whole group's spirits up.
隊長、これは福音ですよ。
だね、浮田さんグッジョブ。
Yeah, thanks, Ukita.
いや
Ukita scratched his head in embarrassment.
だけど問題はどうやってそこに入るかですね。
そうね。考えられる方法は通路を塞いでいる火災を何とか消すかしら。
Alright. Gonna save so I don't make a bad decision. I probably still will. Definitely Tachibana over. Can I leave them both up? Will that work?
いえ、それは火星が激しくて危険です。私は壊れたカードスロットを修理することを提案します。
What do we do? Watase thought it over for a second and soon came to his answer.
なあ立花、通路の方に行ってみないか。頑張ればなんとか消化できるかもしれないだろ。
I don't think I like that option. Sorry, I think I'm gonna go back real quick. Cause
考えられる方法は
Tachibana
通路を塞いでいる火災を何とか消す。
knows fire. So I think repairing the card slot would be better actually.
いえ、私は
Let's see. So maybe this is I don't know if I can look, but maybe it's correlated to like how many plus ones you get overall, and then if it's a tie, whoever you have more plus ones with is gonna win that argument. Maybe that's how it works.
立花の意見に従おう。カードスロットが修理できないか、みんなで挑んでみようじゃないか。
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
だね。3人
Sorry,
いれば
Anna. We had a sweet
文
moment
字の
together,
支援
but
6人もいればなんとかなるかも。
皆さん、お知恵を拝借できますか？
もちろん。
ま
Okay, good. She's not
救助は
mad at
素
me.
人だね。機械には多少詳しいんで役に立てるかもしれない。
fair enough.
私は特に
Oh, Yuri, it's okay.
ことはないですけど、一応行きます。いるだけでも十分だよ。
Yeah, exactly.
多分ゆうりちゃんがいるだけでおっさんたち張り切るからさ。
おっさんね。
Watase and Ukita looked at each other and exchanged wry smiles. Ukita's face turned serious again a moment later.
そうと決まれば早速準備しよう。まずこのマップをみんなの PDA にダウンロードしておこう。
ええ、それじゃあお願いします。
Everyone took out their PDAs at Kazami's declaration, except for Yuri.
ユーリは PDA 持ってないのか？
お母さんが持たせてくれないんです。
It's okay. It's alright.
厳しいお家なんだね。私の親みたいだわ。
そういう家もたまにあるわよ。
Yeah, it's fine. At any rate, everyone except for Yuri downloaded the map into their PDA.
あとはカードスロットを修理するためのドライバーかな。レスキュー隊員の諸君持ってないかい？
アーミーナイフなら常備してるよ。ちょっと使いづらいけど、一応プラスマイナスドライバーもついてる。
十分だ。それでやってみよう。
Ukita took the knife. Watase then plopped a hand on his shoulder.
準備万端だな。それじゃ行こうか。
Let's do it. The group left the control room. The group headed from Area 4 to Area 3's inner ring. While en route, they looked over their newfound maps.
やっぱ地図があると現在地が分かりやすいな。
今までは正直、自分がどこにいるのかも分かりにくかったからね。
It's still hard to tell, I'm not gonna lie. They hurried as they talked. They were now in the connecting passageway from Area 3's inner ring to its outer ring, the one whose door had failed to open earlier. Watase tried his security card just to be sure, but it didn't respond at all.
やっぱり故障してるみたいだな。
ではお願いします、浮田さん。
ああ、できるかどうかはわからないが修理してみよう。
Ukita took out the army knife and used it to start fiddling with the card slot.
どうだ、浮田さん。なんとかなりそうか？
He's been doing this for 30 seconds.
難しいな。できるとしても時間がかかるかもしれない。
Then maybe it'd be best to try other routes as well. Watase looked at Kazami as he thought that, but she was rubbing her arms.
立花、どうした？
いえ、なんだか肌がピリピリと痛むような感覚が。
I need her to stay alive, okay? Like, I need her to stay alive, please.
何？
Watase started panicking. He hadn't realized up until this point, but it had been 45 minutes since their last injection of AD. What's Tachibana's cumulative exposure at now? If that damaged AD's effects didn't fully manifest, does that mean she can only handle under 2000 MSV? But we didn't have a single AD unit on us right now. At this rate, we'll all...
浮田さん、修理変わろうか？
森部、焦らせてはいけません。どうか浮田さん、ご自分のペースで。
And as Kazami said that, Yuri suddenly spoke up from behind them all.
煙。
What? Watase turned around as soon as he heard that.
煙？どこだ？
あそこ。
Yuri had pointed to the center of the passageway when... Oh no! The floorboards were blown away and fire came jetting out of them.
どうしてあんなところから炎が？
森部、消火ホースの用意を。
了解。
Uh-oh. There's a fire hydrant right by the gate. Jun promptly took a fire hose out of it and handed the nozzle to Kazami.
皆さんは後ろへ下がっていてください。
隊長、放水行くよ。
Kazami turned to the advancing flames and began hosing them down. They cannot get a break, can they? However, more of the floorboards were blown away. One flame after another kept spurting out of them.
退路が。
Even with Kazami in a weakened state, the flames were progressing slowly, so it seemed she was doing her best.
ゆうりちゃん、体を低くして。みんなも煙を吸わないように。
Anna followed her advice and held Yuri in her arms. She then crouched down and started shouting. Shouting is not a good idea.
浮田さんまだかかりそう。
今やってるがすまない。正直できるかどうか。
Ukita, you're in a lab coat. You need to be able to do anything scientific. It wasn't just Anna. Everyone was speechless.
こんなゲートさえなければ。
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't expect the Japanese visual novel to just drop an F-bomb like that. Good on you, Jun. Jun kicked the gate. At that moment, debris fell from the ceiling. Watase looked up, then stared intently at what lay there. Watase quickly scanned the path of the duct. It apparently went right over the gate and straight into the outer ring. He then remembered what Ukita had said earlier. The air ducts have radioactive material filters set up all over them. They block all potential routes to the surface and any other areas. Then maybe there isn't a filter in there blocking the way to the outer ring.
森部、このエアダクト通れるか。
試してみよう。もしかしたら向こう側から開けられるかも。
Maybe. But the air duct was blocked by a grate.
浮田さん、アーミーナイフ返して。
Save. Oh, who am I gonna have to pick? Wait. Watase? Why would I have to... I'm gonna leave it like this. I thought it was gonna be between Ukita and Moribe. Like, we'd have to choose who we'd want to have the knife, but I guess not. Okay, that was way easy. Jun took the army knife from Ukita.
私があの網を外して向こう側に行く。体のでかい体長より私の方
Yeah,
が
she's
強だよ。
definitely smaller.
よし行け。俺が肩車してやる。
She can go through it faster.
おっす。
Alright, Jun. Watase then lifted Jun on his shoulders, allowing her to begin dismantling the grate. Got it? The screws soon began falling. First 1, then 2, 3, and 4. Finally, the grate itself fell. It had only taken a mere 30 seconds.
早いなおい。
Yeah, she's good.
器用なのが取
It's
り
her
柄で。
knife. Jun left those words behind as she climbed into the air duct in the blink of an
頼
eye.
むぞ、森部。
But the flames behind them had only grown fiercer during this time. Oh no, Kazami, come on. Kazami groaned in pain as the heat wave surged from the fire.
森部さんお願い。
Anna still had her arms wrapped around Yuri. And as Watase also prayed for the same thing from the bottom of his heart. Yes! Yes! The security gate opened.
やった。
Joy filled the group's faces all at once. But something was strange. The other side of the gate was full of smoke, and Jun was nowhere to be seen. An ominous feeling took grip of Watase, so he quickly scanned the area
森部。
and spotted Jun lying on the floor. Oh
森部、
no!
どうした。
Oh
しっかりし
no!
ろ。
Come on! Watase frantically ran over to Jun and shook her body. But she didn't respond no matter how much he called out to her. Her eyes were rolled back. She'd clearly lost consciousness. Instinctively sensing danger, Watase took Jun in his arms and ran back to the passageway. Uh-oh. Oh no, what is happening? Wait, what? What is... Hold on. Yuri and Anna groaned in agony and collapsed on top of each other.
ユリ、先生。
What is happening? 3 of them had collapsed one after another. Kazami ran over, having noticed this unexpected turn of events.
どうしたのですか。
I have no idea. Her face went pale as a sheet.
これは酸欠空気。
なんだそれは。
一呼吸で気絶しうる一種の窒性ガスです。
Great.
火災等により空気中の酸素濃度が極度に低下すると発生するんです。吸えば陸にいながら溺れるような状態になり、意識は断絶、最悪死に至ります。
Okay, seriously, does anybody know this much about fire? Like, I'm learning so much. Also, I would be dead so many times in this game. Ukita then started shouting in a shrill voice after hearing that.
まずい。ここも空調が壊れてて換気が追いついていないんだ。
じゃあ外周灯にはそのガスが充満して。
The gas had been sealed in the outer ring so far because the gate had been closed up until this point. But
こ
now,
れじゃ進めない。
to make matters worse, their back was blocked by fire. There's nowhere to run. If Watase, Kazami, and Ukita were also to lose consciousness, it probably wouldn't be long before they were incinerated by the flames. They'd be fine if they could put out the source of the fire, but they didn't even know where it was. This isn't good. Kazami scrunched her face in deep thinking for a second. Then she made up her mind and spoke.
仕方ありません。呼吸を止めてエンジンルームまで突っ切りましょう。
Say what?
地図を見る限りエンジンルームまでの距離は約30メートルくらいです。無酸素運動でも問題ないはず。
I'm gonna save. I'm definitely gonna save.
だが倒れた人たちはどうする？
We have to carry them.
椿山さんは私が担ぎます。隊長は森部と優里さんを。
I have to carry two people? Two people at once? I'm supposed to hold my breath and run while carrying two people. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Actually, I think I need to be down a notch, so I listened to her. But remember that jump he did over the puddle, the electrified puddle? So I feel like he has a really good physical body, for lack of better words. Yeah, let's try it. That worry crossed his mind for a second, but Kazumi saw through Watase's concerns and quickly appended her statement.
隊長ならできます。ご自分を信じてください。
Let's do it. Her voice filled Watase's spirit with fire. That's not good. We're dead. We're dead. We're dead. There's so much fire in his chest. He felt self-confidence well up in him.
分かった。任せろ。
Alright, let's do it.
それでこそ隊長です。
Yay! Kazumi smiled for a second, then grew stern again and continued.
浮田さんは申し訳ありませんが、
Yeah, you're on your own,
ご自
buddy.
分で走っていただけます
We're
か。
carrying people. You're on your own, alright?
分かった。やってみよう。
Just don't take a real deep breath. You're just gonna have to gun it.
助かります。
Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Kazumi propped Enna up on her shoulders at the same time, and she said this. Watase did the same with Jun, making sure to copy the way Kazumi did it. He then held Yuri with his other hand. So light. The two of them combined had to weigh about 100 kilograms, yet they felt light to
よ
Watase.
し。行くぞみんな。
Because he's so swole.
はい。
Let's do it. The three nodded at each other, then started racing down the connecting passageway. They held their breaths through the hallways full of white smoke and oxygen-deficient air. Smoke stung their eyes, causing them to tear up. It's far. He'd only traveled 30 meters, but it felt extraordinarily long to him. But the weight of the two lives he bore gave strength to Watase. I've gotta hang in there. If I faint, then Yuri and Moribe die too. As he kicked off the ground with those thoughts sprinting through him, Kazumi suddenly stopped in front of a room. Did we make it? Kazumi took out a card out of her pocket and inserted it into the slot. The group filled into the room right when the door opened. There was a ladder in there, just as Ukita has said. The air there hadn't been polluted at all. Watase quickly closed the door and took a huge breath. We did it! Oh, we did it! Kazami, you okay? Ukita, you're fine. I don't care about you. Kazami and Ukita were also struggling to catch their breath. He's fine. But Ukita fell to his knees with a thud.
浮田さん、大丈夫ですか。
ひどいめまいが。ガスを少し
Oh
吸っ
my
てしまった
god,
よ。
it's the AD wearing off. We're all gonna die. It's gonna happen. Roll credits. I'm a terrible emergency response person. But none of the gas had gotten into the room. They were safe for the time being, but Watase realized they weren't out of the woods just yet. The AD won't last much longer. According to his watch, it was currently 11:10 a.m. Not only were they just 6 minutes left until the prior dosage wore off, but they didn't have any AD at all. We're screwed. Is there anything else we can do? The manual had said that there should be spare AD in Area 3. It was very probable that it was in the outer ring. But they couldn't search the area with that gas still filling the hallways. Before we can do that, we have to find out what's keeping the sprinkler system off, reactivate it, put out the source of the fire, and wait for the ventilation to finish, then look for the AD. It's useless, that'll take way too long. But taking their time was simply not an option. Even if they got rid of the gas and restored the sprinkler system, it would be for naught if they couldn't find AD. Everyone here would probably die. I'm probably gonna save. Whoa! Whoa! What am I having to decide? Hold on, I'm backing out of that. No, wait. If I die looking for the AD, then it'll all be for nothing. Even if they went looking for the AD after restarting the sprinkler system, it might not take as much time as needed. Then they wouldn't have to go very long without any AD. The cumulative exposure probably wouldn't increase all that much. Should I prioritize my own safety and look towards precaution, or brave the danger to find AD for everyone? I don't know how we make this choice. I don't know. I really don't know. He was still hesitant. Watase silently gazed at the door. A whole hull full of potentially lethal gas was lying there. Just one sniff of it and he would most likely pass out. No, it's way too dangerous. Watase then wrung his answer out of his throat.
仕方ない。先に消火システムを起動させよう。AD の捜索はその後だ。立花、辛いだろうが、もう少し辛抱してくれ。
Hang on, I'll load. I think we need to go out there and at least try, right? Let's do like this and see if it changes anything. I'm so worried. Let's see. You're still hesitant. Watase gazed at the door. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna go with this.
AD の捜索はその後だ。立花、辛いだろうが、もう少し辛抱してくれ。
はい。私のことはお気になさらずに、正しい判断だと思います。
Okay, I guess that's good.
すまない。浮田さん、エンジンルームへの案内を頼め。ああ、こっちだ。
The three of them picked up their fallen companions, heading deeper into the room, and then climbed the ladder. Oh! Oh! So maybe if we did choose, we would immediately die because we're going into chapter 3, right? I would assume? They found themselves in a labyrinth of pipes that seemed to cover the entire room. The group laid down the unconscious members they were carrying.
なんとか無事にたどり着くことができましたね。
Kazami's face looked deathly pale. Oh god, I hope she's okay. Sorry, also I'm drinking tea from time to time, so I don't wear my voice out too much. Sorry, but gotta do what I gotta do to get through these 2-hour recording sessions, right? Alright. Was it because of the effects of radiation, or was it extreme fatigue? Either way, Watase spoke to her.
立花、すぐに消火システムを起動させに行こう。炎がここまで来たらおしまいだ。
わかりました。
いや、消火システムのところには僕がついていこ
う。You can be helpful sometimes.
僕は入所当時、ここに見学に来たことがあるんだ。副隊長さんは少し休んだ方がいい。
Yeah, probably.
そいつは助かるが、だが大丈夫なのか。
Ukita's face was just as pale as Kazami's.
僕だって君と同じ男なんだ。
That's right. Us guys gotta stick together, right?
こうつけさせてくれたまえ。
そうか。すまんな。助かるよ。
With those words, Watase walked over to Ukita with faltering steps and lent the latter his shoulder.
それで消火システムはどこにあるんだ？
あっちだ。
すみません。お二人ともお願いします。
Don't die, okay? Watase and Ukita nodded to Kazami, then promptly started heading deeper into the engine room. They proceeded to weave their way through the labyrinth of pipes.
着いたぞ。
Ukita said that and pointed to the countless valves next to a giant tank.
あれが消火システム。
そうだ。あそこにあるバルブを全て開くんだ。
分かった。任せてくれ。
Watase quickly followed Ukita's instructions. The tank began to groan, and the pipes connected to it all started vibrating at once.
これで問題はなさそう。
よし。だったら急いで引き返そう。すぐに AD を探しに行かないと。
いや、すまん。
Uh-oh.
僕はここでシステムが正常に運転しているか見ている。
Ukita had probably pushed himself considerably to do all this, which is even more evident from the pronounced fatigue on his face. So Watase left him there and navigated his way back through the pipe maze. But when he got back to the ladder... Uh-oh. Kazami was lying on the ground, collapsed. Watase frantically ran over to her. Oh my god, guys! I joke about Ukita dying, but I really don't want anybody to die. A sickening stench filled Watase's nose. A puddle of vomit was lying nearby. It had most likely been the result of the effects of radiation exposure taking their toll on Kazami. I knew it. That AD wasn't enough for her.
待ってろ、立花。すぐ AD を見つけてきてやる。
Watase sped towards the ladder and slid on down. He heard what sounded like a shower in the distance. It seemed the sprinklers were doing their job in the blocks with fire in them properly. However, it was likely that the halls weren't clear of the gas just yet. Watase took the deepest breath he could and rushed out into the hallway. Look at him being a captain! The first room yielded no AD. Watase found the medical box lying in the second room. He ran over to it and opened it up. Found them! And discovered there were 2 AD in there. While he was overjoyed at how surprisingly quick he'd found some AD, Watase was also a bit disappointed. If I'd known this was lying so close by, I would have never hesitated to search back then. Then Tachibana wouldn't have had to suffer so much. Still, now he'd secured the necessary AD for Kazami. They were still 4 short, but he felt like his breath was about to run out after having run around this whole time. Watase reluctantly cut his search short and returned to the engine room. Yeah, give them AD first. I know the other ones are unconscious, but we need to get some to Kazami. By the time he got back up the ladder, Jun and Eno were already awake, desperately looking after Kazami as she moaned in agony. We gotta help her.
分かってる。早くこいつを立花に。
Please, please. Watase gave one of the AD to Jun, then quickly injected it into Kazami. Kazami was liberated from her pain as the AD started to take effect. She then fell unconscious. Jun immediately checked Kazami's vital checker.
All green.
Ooh.
焦った。
I swear I need her to live. Okay, please?
とりあえずこれで一安心ね。
Anna sounds like she's short of breath though.
ところで隊長さん、今どういう状況になってるの？ここってエンジンルームよね。
ってことはもう消火システムは起動させたの？
Yeah, we need to give Ukita some too.
ようだけど。
Watase proceeded to answer their questions and explain what had happened up until that point, such as how they'd run through the gas and miraculously made it to the engine room, about how he and Ukita started up the sprinkler system, and how he'd only been able to get his hands on 2 AD.
それじゃあ1本は立花さんに使ったから残りは1本ってわけね。
Yep.
ああ、まだ調べていない部屋があるから、そっちにも AD があるのかもしれないが。
よし、じゃあ今度は私が AD を探しに行ってくるよ。
Jun, you better be careful.
いや、やめておくんだ。ついさっき倒れたことを忘れたのか。
でも。
Oh.
ダメだ。俺だってもう体力の限界なんだ。 もしまたお前が倒れたら今度は誰がお前を担ぐんだ？
それはそうだけど。
I mean, he's right. It's just, you know, it stings a little.
ねえ、消火とガス換気が終わるまでどのくらいかかるのかしら。
さあ、よくわからんが10分くらいじゃないか。
10分か。その頃には私たちの AD は完全に切れてるわね。
Enna said that and quietly looked at the now unconscious Kazami's face. She was probably worried that they'd end up just like her. But like, Kazami might be able to help. Like, obviously she's resting now, but she might be able to go look for us, right? A heavy atmosphere hung over the entire engine room. Time then flew by without event. And then Kazami's watch rang, informing them that their last dose of AD had worn off. Kazami woke up at that moment.
副隊長。
どうやら
Yeah, it does look like you passed
気を失っ
out.
ていたようですね。
She slowly sat up and shook her head.
立花、気分はどうだ？顔色はだいぶ良くなったようだが。
おかげさまで。
Yay!
森部隊長、椿山さんもずいぶん迷惑をかけてしまいましたね。何言ってるの。それはお互い様よ。
Just then, Ukita came back. His gait was now firm. Perhaps he'd recovered his stamina.
おいみんな、消火システムは正常運転中だ。そろそろ階下に降りても大丈夫そうだぞ。
Okay.
そうか、すまない浮田さん、そんな報告までさせちまって。
何構わんさ。ところでさっきアラームが鳴っていた気がしたのだが。
Yeah, we're screwed. It's the we're screwed alarm. Kazami gasped in surprise.
隊長、皆さんの分の AD は。
No.
すまん、俺が手に入れた AD はあと1本しか残っていないんだ。
そうだったのか。
Silence filled the air once again. Watase began to feel an uncomfortable tingling in his skin, as if to prove that the effects of AD had worn off. He looked around to see that everyone apart from Kazami was rubbing their arms. Oh no! The Procyon read 3090 MSV. A radiation level that most likely would have serious side effects on anyone who hadn't taken any AD. Jun nervously began to talk.
それで、その、
Oh
最後の
no.
AD は誰が。
Oh no. Ukita immediately answered without the slightest hesitation.
ユーリ君に使おう。
Really?
そうね。この中で一番か弱いのは彼女だから。
And at that moment, she's not gonna want to.
ここ、どこ。
Yuri woke up and looked around in confusion.
ガスを吸って倒れたんだよ。だがもう大丈夫だ。消火システムもちゃんと起
I
動
don't know
さ
if
せ
we
た
should use it on Yuri.
そうだったんですか。
Yuri's answer was vague, most likely because she wasn't fully awake yet. Could this be the symptoms of radiation exposure? No, it's the symptoms of passing out. Watase took Yuri's arm as anxiety welled up inside him.
詳しい説明は後だ。それより先に AD を打った方がいい。
She's gonna say no, and we're gonna force her to. I don't think we should. I really don't think we should. I think she's some kind of like special child that has immunity or something. We'll see if I'm right though. Yuri let out a bewildered cry at Watase's words. And as soon as she saw the AD in his hands... Yeah, see? Yuri knocked it away. Uh-oh. The AD hit a pipe and shattered into bits. Was not expecting that! No, I was not expecting that. Okay. And so the last precious ampule of AD that the group had saved for Yuri was gone.
ユーリ、お前！
Wow. Blood rushed to Watase's head. He then rose his hand on instinct, but then...
やめろ！
Dang! Yeah, don't hit her. Watase writhed in pain from a sudden headache. His vision quickly grew dark. Don't tell me Is this the result of the AD's effects wearing off? His consciousness then sank into a void. It's not, but I told you Yuri didn't need it. She's going to be fine. She's not going to be scratching her arm like everybody else is. His consciousness was in an eternal darkness. But by the time he could realize that, the darkness had ceased to be. He woke up to find himself still in the engine room. He shook his hazy head and glanced at his watch. It read 12:56 p.m. An hour and a half had already passed. Where are the others? Watase looked around, but no one else was there. He suddenly spotted his PDA on the ground. On the screen was a simple four-word message, "We went on ahead." And lying next to it was an AD. I don't know. Both his headache and discomfort and skin were gone. Someone must have injected him with AD while he was passed out. He didn't know where Kazumi and the others were, but he couldn't just sit around doing nothing. Watase put the AD in his pocket, climbed down the ladder, and went looking for the others. He left the room to find that the hall was already completely clear of gas. It would probably be easier to find the group by checking the surveillance camera footage rather than blindly wandering around Labo. With his mind made up, Watase headed over to the inner ring. He then walked through the now doused connecting passageway and entered B1 of Area 3's inner ring. Whoa, okay. When a fierce roar suddenly shook the air. Shivers ran down his spine. What happened? I thought all the fires in Level had been taken care of. His heart started pounding like crazy in the face of this seemingly impossible event. Watase ran through the halls as fast as he could to find out what had happened. He then spotted clouds of dust coming up from ahead, in the vicinity of the stairwell. The fireproof door to the stairwell was crushed from the inside out. Watase lost his cool and lunged into the stairwell. You're gonna die, dude. It was dark. There was so much dust shrouding the room that it was almost blinding. But Watase strained his eyes and gradually was able to make out more and more of the disaster in front of him. The stairs leading to B2 had blown up without a trace. And, to make matters worse, something was lying at the edge of the collapsed staircase. What's that? But it was simply too dark for him to even make out its shape. It better not be a person. It better not be a person. He had no choice but to go and find out what it was. Watase gulped. He then went down the crumbling staircase one step at a time. There were only a few dozen steps, but it felt so terribly far. The closer he got, the more his body oozed with sweat. Turn back. Something that was most likely Watase's instinct was screaming at him, as opposed to the other voice in your head, right? But Watase ignored the voice and kept going. His eyes were getting more and more used to the darkness, allowing him to tell that the object he was looking at was human-shaped. Great! It had hands, a head, arms. Who is it? Watase went down on his knees to check the person's identity. It was none other than...
Tachibana!
What? As soon as he realized it was her, he could clearly make out Kazami's face in the darkness.
Tachibana! Shikkari shiro!
What? Watase panicked and desperately took her into his arms. But it was strange. Oh no, she's in... She's not all there, is she? She was light, too light. Oh, do you hear that dripping? Oh god! I wanted her to live! It was only then that Watase finally noticed it. The lower half of her body was gone. Watase immediately looked for it, but he couldn't find it anywhere. Blood trickled down the floor of B2 from Kazami's dangling intestines. Why? A fear howl escaped from Watase's throat. a howl full of an unidentified emotion that could not be interpreted as either anger or sorrow. Just then, someone appeared behind Watase. Watase tried to turn around right away, but it was already too late. He was thrust away by something, probably a foot. When he came to his senses, he was in pitch black darkness. He fell head first as he continued to hold on to the upper half of Kazami's body. And a second later... Oh! The sound of his head smashed into the ground. His skull broke, causing something to start leaking out of it. What is happening? A bizarre noise came out of his mouth. And so, the last thing Watase ever saw as he lay in that darkness was the hollow look of Kazami's face lying next to him. What? What? The result of being too cowardly and searching for the AD too late. That's why? You may be able to avert this fate by setting Watase's senses lower. That far back? Okay. I don't know if I guess I'll go ahead and leave this episode here, because I don't know where I did that. Maybe it's one of these. Give me a second. I'll see if I can find it. Maybe we can still make this like a 2-hour long episode. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I got it. Okay, I got the answer. I think this is what we needed to do. But like, seriously, it took me to chapter 3 last time. I went back to chapter 2 to find this. It didn't take as long, like I did say before this, but it took me a minute to figure out the right balance of like what I was supposed to do. So yeah, that's why you saw the transition. But anyways. So that was the whole thing when we found them. And it said that like he cursed himself because if he knew that they were that close, he would have gone to look for them. Ah, okay. Watase said that, took a deep breath, and rushed out of the room. Too late. Kazami's cries fell on deaf ears. I can't believe it takes you to, like, this. Like, wow. Because I thought I made the right choice because it took me to the end of a chapter. But it's not. It's literally a completely, like, fake chapter almost. Watase ran through the poisonous air. He kept his breath held completely all the while. He believed that there was AD in one of the several offices that lined the outer ring. The first room yielded no luck. But there was an iron box lying in the second room. This is a different room too. A medical box. Watase ran over to it and opened it up. Inside of it was some AD. How many? But only 2 ampules of it. This is a different room, right? It's a different screen. This isn't enough. Watase shoved the AD into his pocket and tossed the medical box aside. He needed 4 more to keep everyone, especially Kazami, alive. Watase gritted his teeth and ran into the next room. But there was no AD to be found there, nor in the room after that, or even the room after that one. There's nothing here! Going through a second round of anaerobic exercises was particularly harsh on Watase. That was still easier than when he'd been carrying Jun and Yuri. This would be so much easier if I could just breathe. His lungs were seeking oxygen so desperately that his heart felt like it was going to explode. He put up with it and entered the next room. Whoa, okay. Only to be greeted by the swaying of flames. Gonna save. Pitch black smoke spread, sending a striking pain through his eyes. Great. Not only do I have to hold my breath, but now I'm against fire? If there's only AD in here, he had to get it now or it would be incinerated. Oh, you're gonna be dumb. And confident, but dumb. But Watase could very well lose his life for real searching in a place like this. No, I can do this. Watase steeled his resolve and stood his ground. He wiped his tears and looked around carefully. And soon enough, he spotted a medical box in a gap between the flames. Is there anything in it? He frantically ran over to the box. Inside of it were 5 ampules of AD. Yes! Yes, they're here! Watase grabbed the box and took it with him. He then mustered his strength and fled from the room. Good, 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 good. But he didn't have any strength left. His consciousness was fading from oxygen deprivation. His feet were heavy as lead, and his tears filled his eyes, disturbing his line of sight. I've hit my limit. Watase walked through the darkness, still holding his breath. Let me get this AD to everyone, if nothing else. He leaned against the wall and fumbled his way down the hall. But before long, his hand came into contact with something soft. A hand? Someone's hand was firmly gripping Watase's. Watase wiped his tears and looked in front of him. Kazami was standing there. Tachibana. He called out her voice that wasn't a voice. Kazami also wordlessly replied to him, and appeared to have said Captain. Kazami lent Watase her shoulder, then broke off into a mad dash. They reached the room with the ladder and practically dived into it. Both of them took deep breaths once the door was closed. Whew!
隊長、ご無事ですか?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. Watase took out the AD he'd retrieved as he continued to pant.
それより、ほら。
Yeah, take it.
AD、これでみんな助かるぞ。
Kazami gave him a pointed look.
すまない。お前にはまた心配をかけちまったな。
You were torn in half, so be thankful. Watase was prepared to face another scolding from her. But instead, Kazami gave him a sweet smile.
本当に無茶ばかりして。
叱らないのか。
I'm not gonna get yelled at.
英雄的な行動は推奨できませんが、今回の功績は
That's right.
認めざるを得ないでしょう。
Got results.
そうなのか。よかった。
Kazami said that and held her hand out to Watase. It was right at the moment that Kazami's watch alarm went off.
AD 投与の時間です。上に行きましょう。
I actually thought the sprinkler system was going to activate while we were running around, because like we know what happens when we go to the sprinkler system, but I guess not. Watase took Kazami's hand and climbed up the ladder, and soon enough, they reached the engine room. Jun, Yuri, and Ena were already lying there, and Ukita was sitting next to them.
よし、みんなに AD を投与してやろう。
手分けしましょう。3本こちらへ。
Watase and Kazami soon began injecting everyone. First Jun, then Ukita, then Ena, then Yuri. And last, they injected themselves.
次、バイタルチェックします。
Okay. Kazami then removed her vital checker and wrapped it around everyone's wrist one by one. Watase watched with bated breath as she checked everyone's blood pressure and temperature, only for her to finish and start speaking with a relieved tone of voice.
チェック終了。全員条件付きでクリーン。
Awesome.
皆さん、気を失っていますが、すぐに回復すると思います。
So good. Watase then breathed a huge sigh of relief.
みんな無事でよかった。
ええ、しばらく休んでいれば大丈夫そうです。
解毒剤とかは必要ないのか？
酸欠空気は人体に極めて有害ですが、毒性はありませんからね。
Okay.
新鮮な空気を吸っていれば
That's good.
大丈夫です。
よし。じゃあ立花はみんなを見ていてくれ。俺は今のうちに消化システムとやらを起動させてくる。
でも、それってどこにあるんでしょう。ゴーもごちゃごちゃしてる。
Still, who killed Kazami? Like, who killed her? Kazami examined her surroundings. Just as she said that, there were various sized pipes and pieces of equipment strewn all over the place. It was difficult to tell where anything was here.
何か見取り図のようなものはないか？
He looked around with that thought in mind and eventually spotted a machine with a small monitor on it located by the ladder.
あれは？
Watase and Kazami ran up to the machine and found the following written on the screen. Engine room engineer, terminal menu. Okay, electronics manual screen, work management screen, editing screen. Please touch the screen you wish to view. It appeared they were electronic manuals for the staff who supervised the engine room. Watase decided to tap electronic manuals bar first, causing the contents of the screen to change. Okay, WX particle amplifier operation manual, filtering mechanism maintenance manual, force circulation pump maintenance manual, plumbing maintenance / inspection manual, switchboard operation manual, dry suppressor operation manual, full automatic dusters maintenance operation manual. There's so many.
どういう内容なのかがよくわからないな。
この WX 粒子増幅器運用マニュアルというのは
Kazami pressed the section, changing the screen yet again. It drew up a graph of a cylindrical machine, along with the manual's table of contents. Where's Ukita at? But there wasn't anything important listed in it.
消火システムとは関係ないみたいですね。
くそ、消火システムのマニュアルはないのか。
Watase tried to fiddle around with the screen some more, but then...
待て。
There we go. Ukita called out in a pained voice as he kept sitting on the floor.
浮田さん、大丈夫なのか。
ああ、なんとかね。
Ukita stood up and shook his head.
それより消火システムの場所なら僕が知ってる。
Yeah, okay. Good. I was like, is it gonna be that different?
向こうの奥の方だ。案内しよう。
そうか、助かるよ。
ではお手数ですがお願いします。
Ukita nodded and started walking on unsteady feet. Watase followed him with a similar stumble in his steps. Ukita weaved his way through the gaps between the labyrinth of pipes. Watase followed close by, making sure Ukita didn't lose his balance. Ukita pointed further down the path towards an object that had come into view.
確かあの大きなタンクが消火剤の詰まっているタンクだ。水や窒素ガスなども詰まっている。
窒素ガス？
消火作用があるんだよ。例えばブレインセルがあるような場所では水を使用できないだろ。なるほど
な。じゃああのやたら太いパイプは何なんだ？
Next to the tank was a thick pipe that crossed near the engine room ceiling.
あれは確か原子炉の冷却水用のパイプだったかな。近くにある湖から水を取っているんだ。
湖か。
An idea suddenly flashed through Watase's head.
そうだ、浮田さん。あのパイプの中を伝って湖まで脱出できないかな。
We probably would drown?
不可能だ。
なぜ？
冷却水用のパイプだと言ったろ。あのパイプの中には水が高速で循環している。パイプ内に入るために穴を開けたりしたら凄まじい勢いで水が溢れ、この地下部分が丸ごと水没してしまう。
そうか。水の流れを止める方法は？
わからんが、仮にあったとしてもどのみち脱出は不可能だ。湖までの距離は約500メートル。息を止めたままそこまで行くつもりかね。
じゃあ空気ボンベを使えば？
それは実にいい考えだ。全員分のボンベとマスクがどこかにあるならね。
Or if we could reverse the flow of the water, so we just jump in and like water slide out. That'd be cool.
まあそれがあったとしても、冷却に使われた水は原子炉の熱で熱されている。
So it'll boil us. Cool.
確か50度以上だったかな。耐えられる暑さではないよ。
So it really was impossible to escape through the pipe in a number of ways. Watase's shoulders slumped in disappointment.
そうか。いいアイディアだと思った。
Maybe turn the sprinklers on before we have this conversation?
残念ながらパイプからの脱出なんて案は僕だって真っ先に考えたさ。だが今までそれを口にしなかったのはそもそも不可能だ。
Alright, I get it. Don't flaunt your intelligence at me.
だいたいこの辺りの話は隊長さんには記憶を失う前にも説明したはずだがね。
Why would I remember then? Those sarcastic words hit too close to home.
そうなのか。悪いがそのことも全く覚えていない。
だとしたら記憶の混濁なんてレベルではないな。
Really? Why?
何も覚えていないのかね。君が地下に降りてきた理由も救助すべき人の名も。
I mean, I'll save and then answer. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll see what happens. I trust him.
立花が言うには 時間とともに記憶が戻ってくるらしいが、なかなかな。
Ukita went quiet. He looked at Watase with a somewhat doubtful expression. Realizing it was only natural for Ukita to be that way, Watase continued.
残念ながらこれ本当のことなんだ。頼りないレスキュー隊長ですまない。
Aww.
じゃあ君はさっきそんな状態だというのに危険を冒してまでみんなの分の AD を取りに行ったわけだ。
ああ、今の俺にできることは
Well, I mean,
そう多くないからな。
I didn't the first time and then I died, so this is why I'm doing it now.
記憶がなくても体力はある。知識がない分体を動かさなきゃと思ってさ。
ガスよりも放射線が怖いというわけかね。
そりゃな、AD が足りなくなるのが
Are you
一番
not
怖いだろ。
thankful that you're alive, or what?
だけどガスの中駆けずり回ったおかげでどうにかまた1時間生きながらえたぞ。
Ukita stared at Watase for a while, but eventually settled for a snort.
それは確かに大したものだな。
Yeah, you're welcome.
礼を言っておくよ。ありがとう。
なんだよ急に。おっさんに褒められてもそんなに嬉しくはない
We're
ぞ。
both old men, remember?
おっさんって僕はまだ35だぞ。君とそう年も変わらないじゃないか。
You're 35 and you have gray hair? I'm not saying that's not impossible, but like, really, you're 35?
そういえばそうか。ま、おっさん同士力を合わせて女の子たちを助けていこうぜ。
He thought it was a bit rude, but he felt feelings of kinship towards Ukita welling up inside him when he called the latter old man. That term felt like it naturally suited Ukita, probably because of his appearance and white hair made him look much older than he actually was. Ukita didn't particularly seem to mind, however. He suddenly came to a stop.
おっと、着いたぞ。これだ。
I like how Tachibana said nothing this entire time. Watase looked and saw that there were countless valves next to the tank.
何かの理由でこれらのバルブが閉ざされてたらしいな。
やっぱ点検でもしてたのか。
今となってはわからんね。ともかくこれを開放すれば消火システムは
Oh, is there
復帰
some
する
kind of
は
like
ずだ。
monster? And it like, no. I think it's people. I don't think we're gonna go supernatural.
よし、おっさん手伝ってくれ。
Oh, he just rolled with it that time. After that exchange, Watase and Ukita turned the valves one after another. The tank began to groan, and the pipes connected to it all started vibrating at once, like before.
これで問題はなさそうだ
これで N エリアの火災も収まってくれればいいんだ
な。いや、残念ながらあの場所の消火システムはこことは別系統のようなんだ。
そうか。
But just having the fires in the other areas all taken care of was more than enough.
とりあえずこのことをみんなに報告するか。
いや、僕はしばらくここに留まって正常に運転してるか確認しておこう。
すまないな、頼むよ。
Watase then parted ways to Ukita and headed back to Kazami. When he got back to the ladder area, Kazami called out to him. Okay?
お帰りなさい隊長。
Thanks. Yuri was still lying on the floor, but Jun and Ina were already up and about.
おう、二人とも復活したのか。
世話かけたわね。
Aw, she's so cute. Okay, I'll accept this.
隊長、面目ない。
Oh,
勇ましく出て行った直後に倒れるな
no,
んて
she did so
こんな
well.
恥さらしだよ。
何言ってんだ。お前のおかげでゲートを開けられたんだぜ。
We would have been
面
dead.
目ないなんてことねえよ。
Yep,
そう
she did so good.
そうさ、胸を張れよ。
今日の隊長、なんか優しいな。
Oh, whatever. A smile rose to Jun's pale face. Kazami also seemed relieved.
そう、おかげさまで AD も手に入れることができましたしね。
AD 見つかったの？
Oh yeah, it's already in your system.
ああ、お前たちが気絶しているうちに投与もしておいたよ。
よかった。これでひとまず安心だね。
Well, an hour, right?
そうね。消火システムもどうやら再起動できたようだし。
ああ、これで火にやられる危険性は激減するぞ。
それに下界の火元が鎮火されればやがて普通に歩けるようになるでしょう。
で、消火と換気が終わるまでどのくらいかかるのかしら。
どうでしょう。 10分くらいはかかると思いますが。
Last time it wasn't Kazami that said that, but yeah, apparently it's right. It was a bit troubling that they were stuck here for a while, but now that I think about it, all of us must be tired. If someone with a body like Watase's was tired, then it was probably worse for everyone else.
じゃあユーリの意識も回復してないことだし、それまで休憩に
Probably
しない
need
と。
food too, right?
そうですね。どうせ身動き取れませんし。
賛成。
And so the group decided to take a rest while the sprinkler system did its work. Watase, Kazami, Jun, and Ena sat in a circle on the floor. No sooner had they done that than the 2 hours worth of fatigue hit them all simultaneously, bringing a collective sigh from the group. When Watase breathed, a faint ache throbbed in his ribs that had been injured in the flash over earlier. They've been hurting for a while. Are they cracked? The group had been accumulating not just fatigue but injuries as well.
森紅先生、体の調子はどうだ？
ちょっと指先がしびれるけど平気だよ。
Okay.
私ももう少し休んだら問題なさそうだわ。
立花は？
私も問題ありません。例の
Good,
肌
good,
が
good,
しびれ
good.
るような感覚等も AD を投与したら消えました。
そうか、何よりだ。
Which meant that it really had been radiation exposure that was responsible for the bad shape she'd been in lately.
AD の効果ってのはやっぱかなり高いみたいだね。即座に効果が出るなんてさ。
いくらなんでも早く効きすぎですけどね。
Oh yeah?
体調不良も薬の効用もどちらも気のせいかもしれません。いわゆるプラシーボというやつかと。
でも AD はあった方がいいぞ。
Yeah. Watase glanced at his Prokion and said that the reading had gone up again.
見ろ、現在3090ミリシーベルト。遠からず第一危険基準値の4000ミリシーベルトを超えそうだ。
そうなるとますます AD が重要になってきますね。チェルノブイリ原発事故の際にも4000ミリシーベルト以上の環境下で自己処理作業を行った人がいたそうです。その環境下にいた作業員の死亡率は一説には 100% と。
Yeah, that's not good. Everyone's faces froze over.
AD がない時代の話とはいえ 100% か。
だんだん感覚が麻痺してきてるけど、普通に考えたらものすごい放射線の中にいるのよね。天川君たち AD を持っていればいいけど。
先生、そう焦るなよ。空のメディカルケースや使用済みの AD があったってことは、
I hope so.
彼らは彼らで AD を入手している可能性が高いってことさ。
そうだよ椿山さん。急ぎすぎても危険なだけだよ。今はまず体を休めよう。
そうよね。
Enna gave a weary smile. She'd usually been so sharp-tongued, but now, perhaps a result of her own fatigue catching up with her, she seemed to have calmed down.
椿山さん、本当はかなり辛いのではありませんか？
正直それなりにね。走り詰めで疲れが溜まってきてるし、さらに弱音を吐いちゃうと
Aww.
朝から何も食べてないか
Yeah,
ら
I figured they'd need
ちょっ
food.
とお腹も空いてきたわ。
Watase then noticed his own hunger. He didn't know when the last time he'd eaten was, but his stomach felt empty.
でも俺は空腹より渇きの方がきつい。火や煙にいぶされつつ走ったり飛んだりで喉がもうカラカラだ。
そうね。どこかで水を探したいわね。
いえ、やめた方がいいでしょう。
Oh, yeah?
この施設内にある水はすでに放射能汚染されている可能性が高いで
You're
す。
saying don't just go into the sprinkler and just drink all the delicious water that's meant to stop fires?
そんなものを飲んだら体の内側から被爆しますよ。
No, she's talking about like water fountains and sinks and whatnot. I would probably break a vending machine or two and get me some snacks and some drinks.
マジかよ。
内部被爆って言うんだよ。そうなったらさすがに AD でも被爆を防げなくなっちゃうかもだよ。
Then that meant they'd have to go without even drinking while they were here. It'd be another 7 hours at most, and that thought was quite disheartening, to say the least.
もうどうしてこんなことに。
I wish I knew.
昨日までは平穏の中にいたのに、人生一寸先は闇ね。
Yeah, welcome to 2020. Dark clouds of depression began gradually shrouding all those there. June quickly spoke up in a cheery voice as if to blow them away.
ねえ椿山さん、暗い話はやめようよ。私たちが必ず椿山さんも生徒たちも助けるからさ。
ごめんなさい。ちょっと弱気になっていたみたい。もしこんなところで死んでしまったらなんて思うと。
やめろよ、縁起でもない。
そんなことを言ってはダメですよ。
That's right. You gotta stay
弱気は
positive.
危険を倍化させます。
Even if you die, you gotta stay positive.
まったくだよ。ここで誰かを死なせるつもりなんて私にはさらさらないからね。
強いのね、3人とも。
Anna hung her head down and quietly muttered that.
ごめんなさい。今は
I'm gonna save, because I want to be nice to her. Oh, did I stopped her from talking, apparently. Oh, whoops. No, what am I doing? I just wanted to hear her say that, but oh
あ
well,
なた
it's
たち
fine.
さすがはレスキュー隊だわ。私は何の役にも立たないくせに口ばかり達者で。
I guess I'll do like this and we'll see what happens.
いや、いいんだよ、気にしないで。
ええ、誰であれこんな状況に置かれた
Yeah,
ら
that's true.
気が立つのは当然です。
でもこれからは皆さんの言うことを聞くようにするわ。
それがいいな。喧嘩ばっかしてるよりこうして仲良
Yeah,
く
we
し
should
て
all
る
get
方が
along.
嬉しいよ。
そう
ほら、俺なんか気が弱いからさ、女の子同士の喧嘩とか
Really, dude?
見ていて胃が痛いん
Why
だ。
don't you just be like -5 for all the girls?
何情けないこと言ってるのよ。
うわぁ、普段の隊長からは絶対出てこないような言葉だ。
そんな一面もあったんですね。
Everyone chuckled at Watase's light-hearted joke. The tension finally appeared to be loosening up.
まあなんだ、どうせするなら明るい話をしようぜ。
明るい話？そんな材料があるかしら。
あ、1個あるよ。隊長について見直したこと。
Oh yeah?
取れたてのネタだよ。さっきはかっこよかったね、隊長。
What are we talking about specifically?
さっきとは？
私とユーリちゃんを背負ってガスの中を走った時さ、
Ah.
なんだ、意識あったのか。
うっすらとね。しかし隊長らしからぬ熱い行動だったね。
私も覚えてるわ。立花さんに2人背負ってくださいって言われた時、間髪入れず任せろって言ってたわね。
Oh, that's good. At least I still get points even though I was told to carry them.
そりゃ考えてる時間がなかったから。
謙遜しないで。男らしくて素敵だったわよ。
Ooh. Watase felt a bit taken aback by someone calling him incredible right to his face.
なんだよ、急に手のひら返したように。最初は頼りないとか言ってたじゃないか。
そういう人がいざという時に頑張ったりすると余計に素敵に見えるものでしょ。
Oh, really?
だからな、そのな。
Yeah, we'll leave it up. That's fine.
あら照れちゃって。いい年なのに結構純情なのね。
はあ、何椿山さん、それってもしかして隊長口説いてんの？
さあどうかしらね。
Oh. Anna's giggle made it impossible to tell what she was truly feeling. Uh-oh. What happened? But still, I'm not sure she doesn't mean wrong. No. Hang on. I think I lost. Did I save or did I not? I don't even remember.
ごめんなさい。あなた
Oh,
たち
whoops.
さすがはレスキュー隊だわ。
Oh god. It's skipping so
だから
fast.
な、そのな、
This one was... Hang on. Now it went too fast and I don't remember. Let me save, because I think I lost some...
あら照れちゃって。いい年なのに結構順調なのね。
はあ、何椿山さん。
Okay.
それってもしかして
Let me leave it down a little, because I think I lost a little.
さあ、どうかしらね。
Ah, I still lost it. What? Well, all right, fine. It's fine, I guess. But yeah. Watase was probably smiling at the thought, for Kazami gave him a sharp glare. Yeah, see, I feel like I'm losing Kazami.
隊長、任務中に矢に下がらないでください。みっともない。
I feel like I lost a point with her.
みっともない。
あら、厳しいのね、橘さん。
そう、超厳しいんだよね。特に男に。
Oh, I wanted to make her happy
そ
though.
のせいでせっかくこんな美人なのにいまいちモテないんだよ。
余計なお世話ですよ、森部。
Hang on. We gotta build this back up. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
それももったいない話ね。綺麗で凛々しくて有能で、私が男なら放っておかないのにね。
椿山さんも森部のヨタ話に乗らないように。
But like, she's super reliable. Oh? What's happening? A thought suddenly crossed Watase's mind as he heard that conversation. True, she really is beautiful. But like Jun said, she definitely had a harsh attitude to her that would turn men away. He could understand why in this situation, but he had a hard time imagining what Kazami was like in her day-to-day life. I wonder what she looks like in normal clothes, though I'd say her uniform suits her better than any fashionable clothes or accessories ever could. Watase suddenly remembered something at that moment. Oh yeah, speaking of accessories. Watase reached into his pocket and pulled out the locket with the broken chain. He'd spotted it and quickly picked it up by chance when Kazami saved him back in Area 3. I've got to give this back to her. Watase pinched the locket as he thought this. Uh-oh. It opened up, and when he did, revealing a photo inside. It was a picture of a sour-faced man with a somewhat stern look in his eyes. Who's this guy? Something about his face pisses me off for some reason. As Watase pondered this...
隊長、そのロケット、どうして隊長が？
I don't know.
ああ、すまん。ちょい前に拾ったんだが、渡すの忘れて。
返してください。
It's kind of cute how flustered she got.
あ
Kazami snatched the locket away from Watase before he even had time to say anything.
なんか見たんですね。
I don't remember anything.
そんなに怒ることないだろう。彼氏の写真なんて減るもんじゃないんだし。
彼氏の写真？
Uh-oh.
興味深いわね。見せてもらってもいいかしら。
ダメです。断固拒否します。
あらお堅い。っていうかロケットとは。
I don't think it's her
ね、
boyfriend.
橘さん。
昔から下げてるものだからね。お姉ちゃんのトレードマークだよ。
Kasumi furrowed her eyebrows at that last part.
森部、任務中は副隊長と呼ぶようにといつも言っているでしょ。
今、お姉ちゃんって言ったか？
姉妹には見えないし、名字も違うけど。
Are they related?
はあ、私たち家が近所でさ、子供の頃
Okay.
からの付き合いなんだよ。
Okay, okay.
とはいえ、公私混同はやめなさいと言っているのですが。
いいじゃん、休憩中くらい。ね、お姉ちゃん。
We're on break.
だからやめなさいというのに。
Oh, this is so cute. Kazami gave an exasperated sigh, and the rest of the group laughed. It was the first time since they'd arrived at the facility. No, it was the first time since Watase woke up that they'd ever had a moment of peace. But that tranquility didn't last long, for the sound of Ukita's voice soon brought them all back to reality.
おーいみんな、消火システムは正常運転中だ。そろそろ階下に降りても大丈夫そうだぞ。
Watase looked over to see Ukita running towards the rest of them. And at that very moment, Yuri's eyes opened.
あれ、こ
たいよ。
We'll go high for her. She okay? Yuri sat up and looked around in confusion. It didn't appear there was anything wrong with her body.
ガスを吸って倒れたんだよ。
Yeah,
でももう大丈夫だ。
you're alright.
隊長、ユーリちゃんを背負って走ったんだよ。覚えてない？
Yuri looked back and forth between Watase and June with a bewildered look on her face. Oh, it's so cute!
ありがとうございました。
Then nervously thanked them.
いや、なんてことないさ。ユーリもモリベも軽かったからな。それよりユーリ、歩けそうか？
はい、大丈夫そうです。
ではユーリさんが目覚めたところで今後のことを話しましょう。
Kazami took out her PDA and began her explanation.
まず我々の現在位置がここ、そしてそこのはしごを降りた部屋が地下1階第3エリア外周棟のこの部屋です。ラボ内の火災が消えたことで
Okay.
捜索は安全になり行動範囲も多少広がりましたが、火災がひどかったエリアでは AD も消失している可能性が高いです。
確かに。でもそりゃちょっとまずいな。
They were down to only one AD ampule right now. But they'd almost searched the entirety of areas 1 through 4.
第5エリアに捜索範囲を広げたいがカードがないんだよな。
そう、相変わらずレベル5のセキュリティカードが見つかってません。我々の行動範囲は第4エリアまでです。
まだ未捜索のところに行ってカードを探す？
未捜索のところというと、
Watase touched the PDA, causing the screen's display to switch.
まずこのすぐ下、さっきまでガスが充満していた
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
あそこは焦って捜索したからカードがあるかまでは確認してませんね。
あとはルイーズちゃんと遭遇した第4エリア外周棟地下2階かな。
内周棟はもう汚染されてたからな。探すとしたらその2箇所か。
可能性は薄いかもしれないけど、やってみるしかないわね。
ですね。
だが可能性もそこまで薄くはないんじゃないかね。
Oh yeah? Why do you say that?
第4エリアになら普段第5エリアに出入りしていた研究員もいたかもしれない。あの避難のどさくさでセキュリティカードを置き忘れていった研究員が1人くらいいてもおかしくないさ。
そうか。
Then there was still hope. Staring up at the sprinkler system was nothing more than a way of increasing the search, or starting up, sorry, the sprinkler system was nothing more than a way of increasing the search field. In the end, it didn't change that the group needed to find survivors and AD. And also a level 5 card to progress onwards to an exit.
それでは皆さん、病み上がりに恐縮ですが、
もう一丁行きますか。
Let's do it!
ええ、
The 3 survivors all gave a firm nod. Everyone's probably getting exhausted, but no one showed any signs of that on their faces. It seems the prior incident had managed to bring the group closer together.
だけどみんな無理はするなよ。やばかったら言ってくれ。
Yeah, you gotta tell us, okay?
心配ご無用よ。
Am I gonna lose respect again? Yes, that's fine, I think. The group headed towards the ladder while feeling a sense of trust behind those words. They went out into the hall to find that all of the fire, smoke, and gas were now gone.
排水も終わってるし、もう問題ないようだな。まずはこのエリアでカードを探そう。
皆さん、一応ガスなどに気をつけてください。少しでも異臭を感じたら退避するように願います。
Everyone nodded. The group split up and began searching the area. But then, June spoke up.
待って隊長、火が出てた部屋がどこかわかる？
ああ、あの奥の部屋だが。
じゃあその部屋の捜索に付き合ってもらえるかな。万が一のことがあるから安全を確認したいし。
Okay. Watase could feel a slight hint of nervousness in June's voice. Well, it hasn't been that long since she fainted. No, maybe the reason she was trying to be so proactive was in order to get rid of the fear she still felt from that incident. Once he realized what she was thinking, Watase nodded.
ああ、 だが気をつけていこう。まだガスが残ってるかもしれないしな。
了解。
Watase and Jun fired themselves up and went into the room. Whoa. It had completely burned to a crisp. Jun looked around the scorched room and quietly spoke.
火は完全に消えてるみたいだけど。
これじゃカードがあっても焼けちまってるか。
Yeah, everything's gone. Watase was about to leave the room, but spotted some documents at his feet before he could. They were sopping wet from the sprinkler's extinguishing agents, so the letters were blurred, but he could still read the word disaster on the front.
これは。
何？
Watase and Jun picked it up and drew their heads close so they could look it over together. Labo Fire Incident, July 10th, 2021. Oh, next year! All relevant parties are most likely already aware of the fire that occurred in this facility 3 days ago. Although the worst possible outcome was averted at the last moment, there are inadequacies found in multiple SEC texts blurred to make out. The document contains compilation of the problems hinted at by this incident. The cause of the fire of Senior Fellow S. S had been appointed as the administrator of whatever. As a result, he had quite a great number of opportunities to come into contact with research results. And about 3 months later, S. Co. He took the power generator gasoline stored, set them all on fire, and intentionally caused the blank. He also blank row. This nothing more than a guess, seeing blank is quite high. Furthermore, these research results designated as N amongst blank. Although, while this is not directly whatever, 2 children infiltrated the facility on the day of the incident at the most unfortunate time. For children to have found exploited a hole in our security, this is quite frankly the epitome of carelessness in our security systems, and 2 lives were lost as a result. We must learn a lesson from this incident. Strengthening what alone can't guarantee us any safety whatsoever. There's an urgent need to have specifications of a case and reviewed, and for the security systems to be enhanced. Otherwise, we may foresee yet another repeat of this tragedy, okay? Mike and Biological Organization Security Chief Isao Kawada. It appeared to be a recording regarding a fire that happened in this facility in the past.
2021年。
Jun muttered that in a grim voice.
確か今年は2030年だったな。
Oh, I should have waited till 2030 to play this game. Oh my god, can you imagine what the world's going to be like in 2030?
今から9年前の話だね。
こんな火災あったかどうか覚えてるか？
私は当時小学生だったけど、うっすら覚えてる。確か子供が亡くなったんだよ。火事自体よりその後の騒ぎの方が印象的だったな。
その後の騒ぎって？
その子は病院に搬送された後で亡くなったんだけど、当初はスキャンダ
I
ル
guess
スに
snuck
報道さ
into
れたん
the
だ。
ventilation system or snuck into the facility, right?
死因は被爆によるものなんじゃないか。火災がきっかけで放射能漏れでも起こしたんじゃないかってさ。
何？
Nani?
まあそんなのは一部の人間が騒いだだけで、すぐに報道も噂も収束したけど、子供が亡くなったことは確かだからね。
そう考えると辛いな。
2021年は
Off by 1
ひどい年
year.
だったんだね。
Jun looked back at the report.
最悪の事態は回避できたってことは、その時はケース N は発生しなかったんだろうけど。
結局悲劇が繰り返されてるんじゃねえかよ。
Watase and Jun's voices were tinged with bitterness. The security systems must never have been enhanced.
だったらせめて今回はこれ以上犠牲者を出さないようにしてやろうぜ。
だね。必ずみんなを助けて、
Yeah.
私たちも脱出しよう。
Watase and Jun nodded at each other and left the room. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and leave this episode right here because I feel like that's a good spot. We made it to at least an extinguished area so we can search. They are running constantly, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next time AMJ. Let's play.